To the 12 tribes of the children of Israel, scattered abroad in the name of Jehovah our Creator, and Jesus Christ of Nazareth, the King who rules the world and tells us everything in advance before it happens. We're witnessing a lot of prophecies come forth in front of our very eyes right now. We're seeing it in the Bahamas, in the Caribbean, all over the earth. So this is Bahamian Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis. He's touring North Abaco, including a number of the Abaco Keys in response to Dorian, the hurricane that just devastated the Bahamas and also some of the other islands. So they say Hurricane Hell and the Bahamas is at war, being attacked by Hurricane Dorian, and yet the Bahamas has no weapon to defend itself, or two memorable expressions that emerged from the wreckage of the Abaco Islands and Grand Bahama in the chain islands that make up the territory of the Bahamas. The first was a description by the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres after he inspected the ruin inflicted by Hurricane Dorian. The second was the lament by Bahamas Prime Minister Hubert Minnis as the storm hung over his nation for 24 hours, packing 185 miles per hour winds, creating surges of 18 to 23 feet above normal tide and decimating all in its path. Both the quote-unquote hell that the UN Secretary General described and the hopelessness expressed by the Prime Minister as the Bahamas was attacked by Hurricane Dorian are now part and parcel of Caribbean life. These conditions will worsen as the causes of climate change, the rapid rise of greenhouse gas emission from human activity, continue unabated in wealthy developed countries such as US, China, and India. Now, the Bible didn't say climate change was going to be caused from greenhouse gases. The Bible says climate change was going to be caused from sin. And that's what we see in a lot of these rich countries, even in the poor countries too. There's just untold sin. All these crop overs, these carnivals, these sorceries, these obias, these eugenics, abortions, idolatry, atheism, you name it, communism, capitalism, all of these isms and schisms that are practiced in the earth leads to climate disasters. It was prophesied a couple thousand years ago in the book of Enoch, all right? So we're going to look at Enoch's prophecy. So in the book of Enoch by R.H. Charles, this is translated 1917 version at sacredtext.com. It talks about the 12 windows and their portals. Enoch was around the time, the year, I think 987 AM. This is the book of Joshua. It gives you an approximate timeline as to when things happen. Okay, and all the days of Enoch lived upon the earth were 365 years. After Enoch ascended, he was just translated to where the Most High was. That's 987 AM. After that 987 AM, Methuselah became king. So these are the patriarchs from which the children of Israel descend. So that's why our earth is measured in terms of Anno Mundi, which is AM, Anno Domini, which is AD, and BC, which is before Christ. So Israelites measure their time like that. So when Enoch had ascended into heaven, all the kings of the earth arose and took Methuselah his son and anointed him, and they caused him to reign over them in place of his father. And Methuselah acted uprightly in the sight of God, and as his father Enoch had taught him, and he likewise during the whole of his life taught the sons of men wisdom, knowledge, and the fear of God, and he did not turn away from the good way either to the right nor to the left. So that's why we train righteousness in the earth today, and not to turn away from it, neither to the left nor to the right, because man's laws are different from the Jehovah's laws. So we are the children of Israel in the earth, the Negroes. We get our name from Simeon, also called nigger, in Acts 13 verse 1. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, or Israel, is who the Negroes descend from. We're the Shemites of the earth. We're the Hebrews, the ancient Hebrews. We're the ones who practice and preach righteousness in the earth so that the other nations can save themselves from the pending judgment that's going to come upon them through climate change and every other change that they see happening already. But those who have ears to hear will hear. So this is going to be the 12 windows and their portals. At the ends of the earth I saw 12 portals open to all the quarters of the heaven, and from which the winds go forth and blow over the earth. 3 of them are open on the face, that is the east of the heavens, and 3 in the west, and 3 on the right, that is the south of the heaven, and 3 on the left, that is the north. And the 3 first are those of the east, and the 3 are of the north, and 3 after, those on the left of the south, and 3 of the west. Through 4 of these come winds of blessing and prosperity, and from those 8 come hurtful winds. When they are sent, they bring destruction on all the earth and on the water upon it, and on all who dwell thereon, and on everything which is in the water and the land. And the first wind from these portals, called the east wind, come forth through the first portal which is in the east, including towards the south. From it come forth desolation, drought, heat, and destruction. And through the second portal in the middle comes what is fitting, and from it there come rain and fruitfulness and prosperity and dew. And through the third portal which lies towards the north come cold and drought. After these come forth the south winds through 3 portals. Through the first portal of them, including to the east, comes forth a hot wind. And through the middle portal next to it, there come forth fragrant smells and dew and rain and prosperity and health. And through the third portal lying to the west come forth dew and rain, locusts and desolation. And after these, the north winds from the 7th portal in the east come dew and rain, locusts and desolation. And from the middle portal come in a direct direction health and rain and dew and prosperity. And through the third portal in the west come cloud and hoarfrost and snow and rain and dew and locusts. After these 4 are the west winds. Through the first portal adjoining the north come forth dew and hoarfrost and cold and snow and frost. And from the middle portal come forth dew and rain and prosperity and blessing. And through the last portal which adjoins the south come forth drought and desolation and burning and destruction. And the 12 portals of the 4 quarters of the heaven are therewith completed, and all their laws and all their plagues and all their benefactions have I shown to thee, my son Methuselah. So you see, Enoch trained Methuselah, and he trained his sons, and they trained their sons down to us. We are going to be training our children in all our generations. That's why the children of Israel can trace themselves back to Adam and Jehovah. We don't come from monkeys or evolution theory or Big Bang theory or none of that nonsense. We can trace our genealogy back to Adam because our forefathers teach us righteousness. So the perversion of nature and what is now called global warming or global heating or global cooling or global catastrophe or the apocalypse, all of that was prophesied, as you can see, from the years of Adam until now. Because that was 900 and something AM Anno Mundi when Enoch was translated, and he took the writings and gave to his son Methuselah. Okay. So, chapter LXXX. And behold, in those days, the angel Uriel answered and said unto me. So this is global changes prophesied, or earth changes. Okay. Behold, I have shown thee everything, Enoch, and I have revealed everything to thee, that thou shouldest see this sun and this moon and the leaders of the stars of the heaven and all those who turn them their tasks and times and departures. So, perversion of nature and the heavenly bodies owing to the sin of men. So from the beginning it was the sin of men that caused destruction upon the earth. And in the days of the sinners the years shall be shortened, and their seed shall be tardy in their lands and fields. And all things on the earth shall alter, and shall not appear in their time. And the rain shall be kept back, and the heaven shall withhold it. And in those times the fruits of the earth shall be backward, and shall not grow in their time. And the fruits of the tree shall be withheld in their time, and the moon shall alter her order, and shall not appear at her time. And in those days the sun shall be seen, and he shall journey in the evening on the extremity of the great chariot in the west, and shall shine more brightly than accords with the order of light. And many chiefs of the stars shall transgress the order prescribed, and these shall alter their orbits and tasks, and not appear at the seasons prescribed to them. And the whole order of the stars shall be concealed from the sinners, and the thoughts of those on the earth shall err concerning them, and they shall be altered from all their ways. Yea, they shall err and take them to be gods, and evil shall be multiplied upon them, and punishment shall come upon them so as to destroy all. So these prophecies in the Bible, in the book of Enoch, in the book of Adam and Eve, in the book of Joshua, in the book of Jubilees, we are witnessing them in all our generations, because the word of the Most High is not going to return void. So because sin is what is causing the earth to mourn and groan and complain, we have to do righteousness. That's the opposite of sin. And righteousness is taught by the Most High. You have to obey his laws, the statutes, the commandments, the ordinances, the judgment, the Sabbath days, the holy days, and the faith of Jesus Christ, the gospel. Teach righteousness in your homes, in your churches, in your lands, in your countries, from generation to generation, and then watch the earth spring forth and take care of you. Those blessings are in the entire Bible. In Deuteronomy 28, it's full of blessings and curses, really. You do this, you get this blessing. You do the opposite, you get the curses. So that's what we're witnessing the earth right now, with a lot of Caucasian countries who damage the earth the most, squeal the loudest, and then do the least to take care of it. But all of that was prophesied too, and you can look at the book of Obadiah as well. So the heavenly tablets and the mission of Enoch. And he said unto me, observe, Enoch, these heavenly tablets, and read what is written thereon, and mark every individual fact. So you see the Israelites, the patriarchs, they could read and write from the beginning, because the Most High taught them how to read and write. Okay. And I observed the heavenly tablets, and read everything which was written thereon, and understood everything, and read the books of all the deeds of mankind, and of all the children of flesh that shall be upon the earth, to the remotest generations. And forthwith I bless the great Lord, the King of glory, forever, in that he has made all the works of the world. And I extolled the Lord because of his presence, and blessed him because of the children of men. And after that I said, blessed is the man who dies in righteousness and goodness, concerning whom there is no book of unrighteousness written, and against whom no day of judgment shall be found. And those 7 holy ones brought me and placed me on the earth before the door of my house, and said to me, declare everything to thy son Methuselah, and show to all thy children that no flesh is righteous in the sight of the Lord, for he is their creator. 1 year we will leave thee with thy son, till thou givest thy last commands, that thou mayest teach thy children, and record it for them, and testify to all thy children. And in the 2nd year they shall take thee from their midst. Let thy heart be strong, for the good shall announce righteousness to the good. The righteous with the righteous shall rejoice, and shall offer congratulation to one another. But the sinners shall die with the sinners, and the apostate go down with the apostate. And those who practice righteousness shall die on account of the deeds of men, and be taken away on account of the doings of the godless. And in those days they ceased to speak to me, and I came to my people, blessing the word of the Lord. So this is Enoch, the prophet, the scribe. For those of you who wanted to know when writing started, it started with the Creator and his chosen righteous people. And all the writings that we have and the teachings that we have came down to us from generation to generation. All the names that we have and the customs that we practice are based on the scriptures. And we'll be based on the scriptures until Christ comes and our bodies change, and we don't need to memorize or teach them anymore, but we will know them because they will be written on our hearts. So sin is responsible for climate change and no rain. All right. So when it's no rain, it's already prophesied that the sin of the land is what causes no rain. So Deuteronomy 11 verse 17. And then the Lord's wrath will be kindled against you, and he shut up the heaven, and there be no rain, that the land yield not her fruit, unless he perish quickly from off the good land in which the Lord giveth you. So the Israelites were warned that if they sin, the heavens are going to be shut. Okay? And that goes for the rest of the world too. Whatever you see the Most High train the Israelites in, it goes for the rest of the pagan world, the heathens, the apostates, the atheists, the unrighteous, the idolaters, the satanists. It goes for everybody. Once you want righteousness and reign to rule in your earth, you have to teach yourselves based on the laws of your Creator. Okay? So 1 Kings 8 verse 35, when the heaven is shut up and there is no rain because they have sinned against thee, if they pray towards this place and confess thy name and turn from their sin, when thou afflictest them. So that when the Israelites turn from their sin and pray, the affliction goes. I was in Jamaica when they had that prayer chain when Hurricane Matthew was coming. From the Prime Minister and everybody, they were praying. They had a national day of prayer. They had 24-hour prayer chain. That hurricane turned from Jamaica and it went to hit other countries. So we see with our eyes when we are righteous and when we pray, what happens. We go through these hurricanes every year. So Bahamas, Caribbean, stop selling your islands to private people, because a lot of private people come with sin. Stop selling citizenship to people who worship idols. A lot of Hindus, Buddhists, Arabs, and them people there, they don't worship the God of creation. And we are going to need righteousness in these last days more than anything else for our survival. So the people who want to push homosexuality and sodomy and abortions and witchcraft and all of the things that they push, all the isms and schisms, forget about those people, because their countries have already been destroyed because of it. Now they want to destroy you. They go to Africa and they put AIDS in the people there. They go and they kill the children there. They kill